My name is JP Montalvan. I am your real estate service, sales, and success advisor. We're here for another episode. We've got a great episode. This is tough real estate love. Now, what does that mean? Well, you're gonna see what we've got in real estate is all kinds of fun and exciting times, which is today, and also some tough times as we're pushing through it. So looking forward to sharing with you tough real estate love. Yeah, we good?
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming into work today.
Oh, well, you know, we've got work. You know, we got a lot of work to do today.
Yeah, I know.
Good. Yeah, exciting.
Yeah. It's you know, it's a lot of money, so we're
yeah.
a little excitement, but a little nervous. You know,
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest purchase we'll ever make
Yeah, absolutely.
for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's a great house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's.
I think it was good that we kind of took our time and, you know, got to know a few, you know, maybe more than a few houses with you.
Yes.
I'm sure it's frustrating for everyone, but I think we learned a lot from that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you have to.
It brought us here.
Yeah, you have to see what works, what doesn't work, right?
Yeah, right.
That's part of the process. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah. Okay.
So number one here, it says within 4 weeks of settlement and at the seller's expense, the seller and the seller's contractor will commit to the discovery process of the work and apply for all permits for work performed on the property by the seller's contractor as required by Montgomery County and WSSC.
Was this always 4 weeks, or did
It was
we
not.
say 2 weeks?
It was not, and so that's an edit. Is they've come back and they've said they want 4 weeks, not 2 weeks. I'd like to see how we can back that off. I'd like to see how we can shorten that up a bit. I think there are 2 steps, as I see it. There are 2 steps here. First, we need to have a short call with the listing agent and see where they are on the electrical, because the plumbing seems like it's imminent. Right now, we're within 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
The electrical, we don't know. And supposedly the contractor was supposed to speak with the electrical subcontractor. That's another part of this, is that there's contractors and electrical subcontractors, right?
Right.
And so to then give us a sense as to what's happening. So I'd say we give her a quick call, let's see what the update on electrical is. See that, yeah, that's gotta be gone. That part, 6 weeks is more than enough time for this work to be done, right? So basically we talked about, well, we didn't talk about this, but I wanted to make sure that anything that wasn't done on the original home inspection gets, right, the request list gets done, because there are about 2 or 3 items, none of which are major, fortunately, but there's just 2 or 3 items. Now, I don't agree with that. Fundamentally, when you've got an agreement, you want to hold back more than, so that there's no concern about overage. So my recommendation would be 1.5 times or 2 times the estimated. They're probably also asking for the moon in terms of time frame. So I like that we're backing it off.
Figure that we're going to counter.
Right. So we're backing it off, and I think it's a reasonable back off. Then we're going to them and we're saying, okay, there's no commitment date. It's the times listed above. That's the second. The third is minor, Montgomery County versus DPS. And the fourth is that the amount held back is 200% of the estimate. Now, the question is how hard do you want me to push them in this time frame? And before you answer that, they've also put in here, I think they put in here some language as it relates to this. If an additional 2 weeks, if following the additional 2 weeks extension, so after 4 weeks and following inspections, if more work is required, there obviously needs to be a D there. If more work is required, an additional 2-week extension will be automatically granted to and at the seller's expense. This just covers the plumbing side of things.
Right. Doesn't include electrical.
It doesn't include the electrical, so in a follow-up conversation with the listing agent, which we'll do together now, we need to find out exactly what the electrical scope of things.
Sounds like plumbing will be done by next week.
Hi Megan, how are you? I saw what you sent. The buyers aren't super happy with the time frame, as you might imagine. And the buyer also needs to know that the contractors aren't going to be here forever, right? In terms of the 4 weeks, they're willing to extend the 2 weeks to 4 weeks. They're also willing to allow for an additional 2 weeks. What they're not willing to do is they're not willing to allow for then another 2 weeks beyond that. Sometimes what I'll find at the electric panel is that some of these breakers haven't tripped fully but are loose. And so sometimes what I'll do is see if we've got a loose connection here. That may be what's causing the problem in the other part of the house. This particular one was loose, and I'm wondering if that had,
Let me go upstairs
if that
and
was
check.
the fridge. So what do we, oh yeah, that's leaking.
Well, it was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I just cleaned it out. I didn't want the wood to go bad.
So when we're doing a walkthrough inspection, what we're doing is we're working through the house to make sure everything works properly. We don't want the buyers, we don't want Farah and Paul to walk into a home where they have to do work. Here's a leak here that we're seeing that we're going to take a video of so that we can present this to the seller and have the seller fix it either in the form of a credit or in the form of a repair. As part of a walkthrough inspection, we're looking at plumbing. We're going to show you what should be the case and what shouldn't be the case. Here, this is what should be the case. We've got the water running, everything looks good underneath, and what I'm doing is I'm testing, I'm running my hands on the pipe to see whether or not I'm getting wetness, because that wetness could indicate a leak, and we don't want Farah and Paul stuck with that. So this is what's called, let's see, did they carry it through or did they block it? It looks like, all right, so what they did, they braced it.
You can see these are bolted here.
I've seen typically done, Paul, is that they do what's called sistering. So sistering is when they, you know, let's say that this is cracked, right? This piece right here is cracked.
Yeah.
Then what they do is they take a long piece and run it to reinforce this piece. If you were to hire a contractor to come and put, I mean, probably a 2 by 6, and you could do it yourself, yeah, and run it through the gap. Now that bolt would probably need to be pulled out and then put back in, but then this is hardly going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we've got a few things on walkthrough, and we're thinking that it's probably because work is being done. The best thing, unless you have any objection, is why don't we just like with a post-settlement occupancy, why don't we just add a secondary walkthrough to the agreement, and then and then we can wrap it up once all the work is done. Great, thank you. Bye-bye. The only thing I would ask when you guys get to settlement, don't just go through the loan docs. No, yeah, go through the loan doc. You can sign the loan docs. Okay. Just wait for me for the closing disclosure and the ALTA.
Okay. All right.
The numbers.
You're right behind us, or?
I'm right behind you.
Okay.
So I'm out of my dress clothes and now I'm in my workout clothes. And why is that? Well, because this is about being in the community and giving back. We're gonna actually do a spin workout for a great local charity called Hope for Henry. So we've got some shirts here, Spin for Hope, and I'm about to lead a ride that's an hour and a quarter on a spin bike. Hope for Henry is a group that helps children who are critically and terminally ill. And we know that they do such a great job that we want to support it. So this is one of the reasons that I do what I do. All right, guys, happy Friday. All right, Hope for Henry, here we go. My name is JP. As you guys know, we've got 1 hour and 10 minutes now of spin, up to 2. All right, guys, Hope for Henry on 3. 1, 2, 3, Hope for Henry. So thanks for watching another episode of Selling DC. This was tough real estate love. Now, why was it tough? Well, it was tough because there are moving parts when we're working in real estate, the buying and selling, they're tough moments, and we had to work through tough moments to help Farah and Paul get to here. I'm about to head inside and help them finish up the buying of their home. That's the love part. The other part of love is what we shared with you earlier, our work in the community, in the neighborhood. We did a spin class for Hope for Henry, and it's all about giving back. It's not just about what we do in the pro side, it's what we do in the community and giving back. So thanks for coming, thanks for watching, subscribe below, and we'll get you on the next episode of Selling DC. I'm JP Montalvan, your real estate sales, service, and success advisor.